How are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been a while, my brothers and sisters. Hope you're having a wonderful day. How are we doing? Let's update here. Let's update here. And let's get the show on the road. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's your boy Adam here, live on Cat Sports Football, bringing you the match commentary of Newcastle United against Manchester City. I hope you guys had a wonderful summer. I hope you're all doing well. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited for the season. Scuba Culture there in the chat. How are you doing, Scuba Culture? Hope you're doing well, my brother. How are you feeling about the season? How are you feeling about the new signings? Couple of teams making some big moves in the summer transfer window. Real Madrid got that Jude Bellingham, 2 goals in 2 games already. He's on it, he's on it, he's on it. But how are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Let me know how you've been going. Let me know what you've been up to. Any news to share? Fulham losing to Brentford 3-0. Got to watch Arsenal on their trip here to the States, so that was awesome. Wow, man. This is what preseason does. A lot of fans over in the UK have issues with their team branching out around the world, but this is what preseason does. It allows the fans around the world to see it. We're live here on TNT Sports today here in the UK. No BT Sport anywhere, no British Telecom communication. No more BT in the UK. TNT, ladies and gentlemen. Manchester City taking on Newcastle United. That man Tonali. Went to a Weatherspoons in the UK. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. We have thoughts on the World Cup final tomorrow. You know what? I will be live tomorrow morning. I definitely will be live here in the UK, 11 a.m. I'll be honest with you. What the English women's team are doing in world football is what the men's team just haven't been able to grasp. They've got players, they've got hardworking players, they've got a manager who tactically sets them up right, but where the men's team haven't been able to capture their moments, the women's team are definitely doing so. It's going to be a huge game. Spain did lose massively against Japan in the early fixture in the World Cup. England they just seem to be getting better and better with each game. That's the only thing I can say. With each game, they just get better and better and better. And every difficult moment that comes their way, they go ahead and just, push it aside. They were 1-0 up against Australia in the semi-final, and then Sam Kerr, take a bow, you beauty. She's gone and hit it from about 30 yards out into the top corner, making it 1-1, and the stadium erupts. I watched it. I was watching the replay at work, and as soon as I watched it, I had goosebumps because I thought that stadium, that's it now. England are going to struggle against this. The way the stadium erupted, and this team will be, adrenaline pumping, with the fans behind them. It wasn't England against the Australian football team. It was England against the Australian country with the way that goal was celebrated. But again, they just managed to capitalize on a mistake and go ahead and win the game, and they won it 3-1 in the end comfortably. So I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow. Obviously, we all know the difficulties Spain are having behind the scenes. I think it was like 15 players didn't even want to come to this World Cup because of the issues with management and the allegations against him. All but two have come to the tournament. And I'm sure the two players that aren't there are the main players. Um, so we'll have to wait and see what implications that has. Imagine if Spain win the World Cup and two of their best players are at home. Like, it's just, it's not a good situation for the Spanish team. Obviously, that's something that they're going to have to look into. But one thing's for sure. One thing you can say 100%, women's football is on the rise. This year alone, the amount of male journalists that I follow who are actively watching the World Cup, who are actively celebrating the World Cup, sharing photos, moments, going out there to do work for, these big um, broadcasts, the likes of Sky, BT, ITV, BBC, in the UK alone. Usain there in the chat. How you doing, my brother Usain? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Where you from and who do you support? Let me know in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a while since I streamed. The last game that I streamed was the Champions League final where a certain team made history. But the less we talk about that, the better. Today it's about the Premier League where we have Manchester City taking on Newcastle United. Kickoff in about 15 minutes. And Manchester City won the treble and he had to shake things up, Pep Guardiola, if he wanted the team to go again. But do they look a bit light? Riyad Mahrez moving on. Kevin De Bruyne with his injury. The Etihad Stadium hopefully looking to try and move on. But do City look a bit light in the team? What do you guys think? Let me know. Riyad Mahrez has gone, Gundogan has gone, Mendy has gone. There's at least 2 out of 3 players there, and they've only brought in Gvardiol and Kovacic. João Cancelo has gone. Well, he looks to be leaving, should I say. He's not gone. He looks to be leaving. We'll have to wait and see. How are we all doing in the chat? What do we think of the season so far? Manchester United losing 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspurs. Can this experiment that Eric Ten Hag is doing, can he stop now? Are we all in agreement that this experiment that Ten Hag is doing, where Casemiro is like one of the furthest players up the pitch, I don't want Casemiro to move past the halfway line. He don't have the legs anymore. Am I the only one who feels this way? The guy has no legs. He can't run the full game. High up doing box to box. He's not that kind of a player. Why is it with managers trying to play players out of position? Marcus Rashford, one of the best players for Manchester United last season, plays him through the middle as opposed to the left-hand side. You put Jadon Sancho false 9 in the preseason games. Why can't you do that in the Premier League? Am I the only one who feels this way? Guys, help me out here. It's been 2 games in the Premier League and my blood pressure has already gone up. Ah! How are we all doing anyway, guys? How are we all doing? How are we all doing in the chat? Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a wonderful day. We do have kickoff in the next 11 minutes. What are our thoughts of Manchester City? What are our thoughts of Newcastle United? Newcastle United scoring big in the first game of their Premier League campaign against Newcastle United. Exile Aston Villa received the Arsenal away jersey in the mail yesterday. Not as awesome as the black one from last season, but it's growing on me. You know what? I'll be honest with you. This season, we've not seen a lot of great kits. We haven't seen a lot of great kits. I'll be honest with you. Not in England anyway. I feel like some of the kits that have been released in England. You look at Aston Villa, Burnley, and there's another team. Aston Villa, Burnley, and West Ham United, they all look the same. All three teams have the same colours and the same kind of shirt. I will say, there are some European ones that look nice. But yeah, I just feel like it's not happening, man. It's not happening with these kits this season. No one's being a bit risky with them, you see. They're just going for the easy ones. Manchester United's away kit looks horrible. Check out the St. Louis City SC MLS kit. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What did you say? The grey pinstripe one is pretty sweet. Okay, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Scuba culture. Someone you just said something, and I want to ask you. For someone who's on that side of the world, what's it like with Messi playing in America? Has everyone lost their marbles? Has everyone lost their shit? That guy can't stop scoring. He scores it. He's scoring free kicks for fun. He's linking up play. He's making players look like the next £100 million player. It must be insane. It's ridiculous. It must be magic. Every time I wake up in the morning in the UK, first thing you do is you scroll Twitter because obviously the football games that happen on the other side of the planet with Messi playing there. That you gotta look to see if he scored or not. Miami was the worst team. 100%. There's an American streamer that I follow, Alexis Guerrero, who's now on TV, CBS Sports. And he always said it straight that they were the most ridiculous team ever. And look at this City. They're coming out with that. He's had some really class goals. He had some of that free kick. Messi's free kick is like a team getting a penalty. 99.9999% chance of scoring. It's just too easy for the guy. The players, what is crazy is just what he has done to ticket prices. I bet he has. I bet he has him higher when he's playing. Wow. Wow. That's why you bring players like that into your league. You know, Saudi Arabia did it with Cristiano Ronaldo, and we've seen what money's done to that league. That's what you do. You get the prices in, you get the people joining, you get the people watching. Cheapest live tickets are more expensive than NFL games. Look, I said it before and I say it now. Football is the number one sport on planet Earth, and it looks to be taking over America. Messi is taking over America. There's someone in the UK who put a bet on for Miami to win a trophy and Messi to be the leading goal scorer in the season. And if he wins that, he'll get like £300,000 on his bet that he put on. Newcastle against Manchester City title decider. Could be an early title decider here in the UK. In the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. Manchester City look a bit off the pace. Obviously with the injury to Kevin De Bruyne, that's huge. That's a huge bonus for Newcastle, who just look to be improving from last season. the attention and bringing new fans in is also now these two will both bottle it and not be top 5. Wow, Scuba Culture coming in with the shots fired. Arsenal have improved, Scuba. Arsenal have improved. Declan Rice. Obviously, the injury to Timber, which wasn't good. David Raya. Still sensitive from last year. And look, you got to use it to your advantage. You got to use it to your advantage. You got to use it to motivate yourself. You got to use that feeling. Get it. Harness it. Remember how it feels. Look at this treble celebration for Manchester City. Pointing the banners out and everything. Pointing the banners out and everything. They're singing Hey Jude. Na 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 na. Hey Jude. Hey Jude. Hey Jude. Hey Jude. Hey Jude. Come out. The 3 trophies. Can't wait to see Saka score some more amazing goals. That goal he scored last week on his left foot. I'm telling you, that guy is up there. You know, when it comes to conversations, the young players of the year, Bukayo Saka, man, my God. He's up there. Him, Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe. There's some beautiful youngsters. Erling Haaland. I feel like he's just beautiful. Bukayo Saka, man. See a lot of his jerseys this side. I feel like he's the main man at Arsenal. For all the work that Odegaard does, for all the brilliant defending that Saliba does, and um, the keeper Ramsdale, for Martinelli's beautiful play, Gabriel Jesus' tenacity, Zinchenko's leadership, for everything that they've done, Bukayo Saka is the player, the face of Arsenal. Just glad we locked him in a good deal. The right thing to do. It was the right thing to do to lock him into that deal. Honestly, I feel I could see Bukayo Saka moving to a City, to a Madrid, to a Barcelona. I can see him play for any one of them teams. Just imagine Real Madrid with Vinicius Jr. down the left, Kylian Mbappe through the middle, and Bukayo Saka on the right side. Just imagine. Imagine. Barcelona. Robert Lewandowski. Ansu Fati. Bukayo Saka. Pedri and Gavi. Manchester City, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish and Bukayo Saka. England, Harry Kane, Jack Grealish, Bukayo Saka. He fits everywhere. That would be cheat mode. He fits in every team. He gets into every team. I don't think there's a team on this planet that he does not get into ahead of the player in that position. The players are coming out here at the Etihad Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. The fireworks are setting off now. Celebrating this treble winning season last year. Putting on a show, ladies and gentlemen. Putting on a show. Alright. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. The players are out now. Erling Haaland ties his hair back. Phil Foden has an opportunity to establish himself into the team. Kovacic is in the middle of the park. Let's give you the Manchester City team news. Ederson is in goal. Kyle Walker, the captain. Manuel Akanji, Ruben Diaz, and Josko Gvardiol. Kovacic and Rodri, Foden, Alvarez, Grealish with Erling Haaland playing through the middle. Gvardiol on that left hand side. Is there no left back that he could play? Rico Lewis, maybe? Maybe he's gone for. He likes them three centre backs playing at the back with Kyle Walker pushing into midfield. That's what we'll expect. We'll have to wait and see what they end up doing. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. Kyle Walker pushes higher up the field, or Gvardiol might be given the opportunity to push further up the field. Kovacic alongside Rodri playing that box-to-box role. Grealish on the left. Foden on the right. Julian Alvarez, through the middle behind Erling Haaland. Let's give you the Newcastle team news. Nick Pope is in goal. Kieran Trippier, the captain, is at right back with Fabian Schär, Sven Botman and Dan Burn. Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. Miguel Almiron, Alexandre Isak, and Anthony Gordon. The question is, who comes out on top? The question is, who comes out on top? Ladies and gentlemen, Newcastle United run riot against Aston Villa. Manchester City, it only took 4 minutes for them to score the goal with Erling Haaland. Scored 2 goals in 9 touches. It doesn't matter how many times he touches the ball, he's going to score a goal. That is for sure. But it's going to be a big game today, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge game. So early in the season, with the way Newcastle are performing in the Champions League this year. Are they going to write off the Champions League and focus again on the Premier League? Or are they going to just use the Champions League as a free hit and see what they do? Erling Haaland smiling away. Sandro Tonali. Brilliant in the Champions League final for Inter Milan. Unfortunate not to get a result against Manchester City. The players huddle in the middle. We're getting ready, ladies and gentlemen. We are all set here at the Etihad, live on Cal Sports Football. Manchester City in their famous blue kit shooting from left to right. Newcastle United in the black or white stripes of the Geordie lands from right to left. It's going to be City to kick off with Rodri. And it goes all the way back to Edison here on this left-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be back. How are we doing? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a long ball over the top. Fabian Schär goes down holding his head. The referee will stop the game here. Fabian Schär goes up for the header. And we'll have to wait and see what happened there. But how are we doing, guys? He's jumped up against Haaland. Oh, I think he's just landed awkwardly. So he's jumped up against Haaland. He wins the header. And as he's coming down, he's landed on that elbow. And the shot just goes straight into his shoulder. And he's not looking good right now, Fabian Schär. We'll have to wait and see. It's just the impact. It's just the impact. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Where are you from and who do you support? Let me know in the chat. We are live here today. Lascelles is on the bench. Fabian Schär is back up on his feet. We'll have to wait and see what happens. This isn't what Newcastle will have wanted so earlier in the game. This defensive partnership of Fabian Schär and Sven Botman. Right, Newcastle will have to restart without Fabian Schär, who's on the touchline getting some treatment as Ruben Diaz has the ball here. Short to Kovacic down his left-hand side, who holds onto it. He's got Bruno Guimaraes for company Edison alongside Isak. Akanji quickly into Ruben Diaz, who's moving the ball out of his own half. Kyle Walker, missed touch by Kyle Walker, allows Gordon to win the ball back, and he goes all the way back to Pope, who hits it, but it's straight to Rather Kyle Walker. Kovacic bringing the ball forward, out to the right side towards Walker. Joe Linton is back defending. Has Fabian Schär gone back onto the picture? It looks like it for now. Akanji goes backwards to Gvardiol, and he goes all the way back to the defender Ruben Diaz on the left-hand side. City will want to hit the ground running here as Kyle Walker's offside. They'll want to hit the ground running here. Manchester City try and get ahead in this game, try and create something in this game. We'll have to wait and see. Jack Grealish on the ball on that left-hand side. Holds onto the ball, brings it central to Rodri. Rodri back to Gvardiol, and it's Kovacic on the centre circle. Kovacic will be a good signing for City, that's without a doubt. Threads the pass into Foden. Foden had to Walker on the right side. Threads into the middle towards Rodri. Rodri into Kovacic. Kovacic 1-on-1 against Bruno Guimaraes. Squares it into Gvardiol, who switches it out to Walker on the right side. Dan Burn comes over to cover. It comes backwards to Rodri. Rodri into the middle of Akanji. Akanji very high here for Manchester City. You have Gvardiol and Diaz, the remaining two defenders, but Akanji looks to be pushing as high as he can. Diaz all the way back to Edison here. Newcastle forcing them backwards. Man City just holding possession of the ball here, moving the ball about, forcing Newcastle to run about to win the ball. Kyle Walker into Rodri, who feeds the ball over the top towards Erling Haaland, who's 1-on-1 against Botman. He brings the ball down, but Dan Burn is there and is fed over the top towards Isak, but it's cleared away, and Ruben Diaz is there all the way back to the keeper on this left-hand side. Long ball over the top again to Kyle Walker. Looks to be playing very high. Kyle Walker on this right side, playing almost like a right winger more than anything. We'll have to wait and see. Here we go with Tonali now. Bringing the ball forward here. Gets away from Alvarez. Can't get away from Rodri. And Akanji wins it back. Alvarez gets there. Ahead of Tonali, who can't get away from Gvardiol, and Newcastle win the ball high in the pitch back with Kieran Trippier. Guimaraes goes out to Miguel Almiron on the right side, 1-on-1 against the defender. Kieran Trippier with a rapid run, gets away from Gvardiol, with outside flag goes up, and Man City restart on this left-hand side. Nah, he's just offside. Kieran Trippier. 5 minutes into the game, Manchester City 0, Newcastle 0. Man City trying to play out their own half. Miguel Almiron nearly nicks it off Edison, but he manages to get the pass off short to Rodri. Here we go with Gvardiol. His pass is intercepted, and Tonali can't capitalise. And Man City with it back, and it's Kyle Walker now with the ball on the left-hand side, who's got space to try with the ball. Anthony Gordon trying his best to win track back. But Kyle Walker as well to hold on to it. Into the middle, finds Rodri on the centre circle, bringing it forward. Alvarez is through the middle, but it goes out wide to Kyle Walker. Anthony Gordon is tracking back, goes backwards to Rodri. Rodri into the middle, finds Kovacic. Kovacic into Akanji, playing very high in the middle of the park for Manchester City. Goes to Jack Grealish on the left-hand side. 1-on-1 against Kieran Trippier. Almiron's tracking back. Manages to find Haaland on the edge of the box. He tries to thread it into the path of Foden. But Newcastle win it back where Kovacic wins it high at the pitch, and it's Foden now. Backwards to Rodri. Rodri holds onto the ball here. Kovacic in the middle of the Newcastle half. Out wide to Diaz. Newcastle are back in shape now. Rodri into Akanji. Akanji being pressed by Almiron. Backwards to Gvardiol, and he goes all the way back to Edison on the left-hand side. And Manchester City restart. Rodri on the centre circle. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? What do we think of the Premier League so far? Are you happy with the start of the season your team have had? Or are you a bit anxious with the way the season may be going, thinking of Manchester United fans, Everton fans, Jack Grealish on the ball on that left-hand side. Sheffield United fans obviously not happy with the way their season looks to be heading. Diaz bringing the ball forward here for City. Out to the right side finds Walker. Walker holds onto the ball. And it goes all the way back to Edison on this left-hand side. Manchester City have won every single Kovacic. Backwards to Gvardiol, and Gvardiol finds Kovacic on the centre circle. Haaland makes it run off the ball, but nothing given. He goes into Rodri short, being harassed by Tonali, and he manages to find a pass out wide. Here we go with Grealish on the ball. 1-on-1 against Almiron. Goes into Rodri. Rodri threads a pass into Foden. Foden out to that left-hand side towards Alvarez. Alvarez finds Grealish. 1-on-1 against Trippier in the box. Takes a shot and is blocked by Trippier. And Trippier tries to bring the ball forward to Guimaraes, who's brought down free kick Newcastle. Newcastle free kick on the right side. Jack Grealish looked to have brought down Bruno Guimaraes, who tripped there more than anything. That was a trip, that. Almiron tries to flick it on, but it comes off the Newcastle player, and it's a City throwing taken by Gvardiol on the halfway line. Diaz on the centre circle. Out to the right side, it's Kyle Walker. Walker into the middle finds Rodri. Rodri bringing the ball forward here. Manages to go short to Gvardiol. Into Akanji. Gvardiol learning his trade at Manchester City. He'll need to pick up the pace and get his passing accurate in this Manchester City side. Edison goes out to that left-hand side. Rodri giving himself some space over the top towards Alvarez, and Alvarez has got space to bring it forward, but he couldn't take it in stride, and it allows Almiron to win it back, and he finds Isak, who gets away from Gvardiol, he gets away from Kovacic, gets away from Rodri. He finds Anthony Gordon here. Backwards to Dan Boy. Insigne finds Joe Linton. Botman. Guimaraes. Into Tonali. All the way back to Fabian Schär, who looks to have shrugged off that early injury he suffered with that awkward landing. Kieran Trippier makes a run off the ball, but Newcastle hold on to it here with Botman on the right side. Quickly into Joe Linton. Guimaraes. 1-2 with Bruno, but he loses the ball to Haaland, and it's Foden into the path of Haaland. He lets it run past him, holds on to it, but he can't take it out of his feet. He just can't get his feet out, get it under control. And it goes up for a goal kick, and that was a huge opportunity for Manchester City. Error at the back by Newcastle. That's the last thing you want to give. That's the last place you want to give the ball away. He just couldn't get his feet under control. Goal kick on the right side for Newcastle United. Isak loses the header to Gvardiol. Rodri jumps up against Tonali, and the free kick is given Manchester City's way. Rodri to start the game. Phil Foden looks to be playing in between the lines, which is where you want to see Phil Foden play. You want to see Phil Foden play behind the striker, in between the lines, link up the play between the midfield and the attack. And he's already causing damage in this game. Has found himself in some beautiful positions. Edison goes short to Diaz. First time into Kyle Walker on this left-hand side, who puts his head down and brings the ball forward here. Kovacic to his left, finds him, but it's intercepted by Joe Linton. But his pass is misplaced and Foden wins it back. Rodri on the ball now. Out to that left-hand side towards Jack Grealish. 1-on-1 against Kieran Trippier. Alvarez is through the middle, but he holds onto it. Jack Grealish brings it central to the centre circle. Rodri now into the path of Kovacic. Gets away from Joe Linton with ease. Gets away from Tonali. Bringing the ball forward here. Threads it in between the lines towards Haaland, but it's a great last-ditch challenge by Fabian Schär. And Newcastle come away with it. They need to be careful here, Newcastle. Letting a lot of gaps through the middle open up in this Etihad Stadium. City will be happy with what they're seeing here. Here we go with Rodri. Akanji on the centre circle. Spreads it out to the shot side towards Kyle Walker, who's ahead of Dan Burn. Gets himself on the edge of the box. Into the path of Foden. Foden lets it slide across him. Backwards to Akanji. Akanji left foot into the box, but it's over. It goes out for a goal kick. For all the drama that Kevin De Bruyne's absence has created in this week, ladies and gentlemen, it's like nothing has happened for Manchester City. Nick Pope with a goal kick. Gvardiol wins the ball. And Roger goes back to Diaz on this left-hand side. Diaz now bringing the ball forward here. Into Rodri. Rodri now on the centre circle. Goes out to Jack Grealish on that left-hand side. 1-on-1 against Kieran Trippier. But he goes central to Rodri. Rodri puts his head up and switches it over the top to the right side. Kyle Walker's there. 1-on-1 against Dan Burn. Goes backwards to Kovacic. Kovacic holds onto the ball here. 1-on-1 against Joe Linton. And he's just waiting for the right pass. Rodri now on the ball. 14 minutes play. Out to Walker. Rodri. What's up, big man? We Chowder. Long time no see, my brother. Hope you're having a wonderful day. How are we doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go with Ruben Diaz on the ball on the halfway line. Akanji makes a run off the ball, but he holds onto it. Diaz. Out to the shine side is Kyle Walker. Alvarez makes a run off the ball, but goes backwards to Diaz. Good day. Chuff for the big hands showing up. All the doubters today. Big victory for you guys against Manchester United. One ball over the top towards Erling Haaland, but Kieran Trippier is there and Pope will gather it here and he goes into Dan Burn. Short to Bruno Guimaraes. Goes out to the shine side towards Kieran Trippier. Guimaraes holds onto the ball here, gets away from Alvarez and he goes out to that right side towards Almiron. But he loses the ball here and Man City win it back with Rodri. Kovacic on the centre circle into the path of Ruben Diaz. But he couldn't keep hold on to it and Kovacic finds Rodri. Akanji. Looks to be playing that John Stones role. I'm a Celtics fan and Ange had me celebrating 2 Spurs goals. Look, they brought in James Maddison. They brought in that Dutch defender and they brought in that the defender with beginning with I couldn't tell you. Sars played well. You know, they've got a group of players that want to play football and Ange Ball revolution is definitely on the cards early in the season. But we'll have to wait and see. I did think that Son was a bit not out of place, but felt like he wasn't in the game, but he's learning to play with a group of players that doesn't involve Harry Kane. But Kulusevski with Madison's definitely picking up the opportunity, should I say. Here we go, the Rodri on the halfway line, short to Kovacic. Kovacic out to the side to Kyle Walker. Walker holds onto their feet, the ball down the line towards Haaland, but it's intercepted and it's Joe Linton now on the ball. Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle just need to keep hold of the ball here. Move it about. Isak does well to spin away from Gvardiol. drives the ball out to the left hand side towards Anthony Gordon. This is what Newcastle need to do, just keep possession of it, move it about, ball across the 6-yard box. And where was the striker there? Beautiful ball across the 6-yard box by Anthony Gordon. And it's a Kanji who's tracking back on the back post. No one for Newcastle makes that darting run near post. And Man City managed to clear it away for a throw-in. Anthony Gordon now on the port. Dan Burn into Fabien Cher on the halfway line. Switches over the top towards Alman on the right side. Is the flag going to stay down? We'll have to wait and see. One-on-one against Gavagioli. He holds on to it here. Manages to find a pass to Guimaraes, and he can't find Tonali, and it goes all the way back to Edison on this left-hand side. Richarlison doesn't fit the Ange system, I don't think. From Ange's time at Celtic, he just doesn't seem like the type of player Ange likes. Well, do you know what needs must right now for Tottenham Hotspurs? They don't really have another striker to go for. They've only got Richarlison. The problem is Richarlison likes to play down the left-hand side. And when you got Son in your team, you're not putting Richarlison ahead of him. So he's kind of just being forced to play there. And maybe he's just there just to cause a bit of nuisance up top. Give the defenders something to think about. Madison, Kulusevski, and Son. With Richarlison, that, you know, you can do a job. Big season for Basuma this year, for Tottenham Hotspurs. Didn't really have a good season last season, but it was a bit mismatch at Tottenham last season. Conte didn't want to be there. They were just looking to see what they could do to get rid. But it's a big season for him, as Kieran Trippier manages to find Almiron on that right side, one-on-one against Gavagioli. He finds it short to Guimaraes. Guimaraes on the edge of the box. Finds Dan Burn into Isak. Holds on to it, one-on-one against Ford, and goes into Bruno Guimaraes. But it's a heavy touch. But Newcastle win it back here with Kieran Trippier. Floats it into Isak, but Diaz is there. And Rodri helps it on. And Dan Burn will head it, but he heads into the path of Foden. And Foden keeps it alive with Walker. Foden holds onto it here. Gets away from Dan Burn. Rodri feeds it over the top. Can he find Jack Grealish? But Trippier is there, and he heads it back to Pope on the right side. Trippier now on the ball. 1-2 with Tonali. "20 minutes played. Man City nil. Newcastle nil. Newcastle are doing well to keep themselves in this game. They just need to keep possession of the ball better. Not give the ball away in needless spaces, as Tonali manages to find a pass into Almiron on the right side. He goes short to Isak on the edge of the box. Goes right on the right side of the box. Gets himself. Puts Gavagiol down on ground. Kanji's there. He finds Joe Linton's shot blocked by Gavagiol. And Jack Grealish will try and come away with it, but Tonali's there to win the pullback, and Dan Burn keeps it alive here for Newcastle on this left-hand side. Foden comes out to cover. He's a little against large here. Goes backwards to Tonali. Short to Guimaraes. Anthony Gordon makes a run through the middle, but it's just overhit by Bruno, and it goes out for a goal kick on this left-hand side. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Edison with a ball down the line. Into the path of Haaland on that left-hand side. Being held up by Botman. And Botman does well to defend, and it goes out for a throwing for Manchester City. Will be an interesting match for sure. Well, it will be an interesting match. Newcastle winning 4-1 in their first game. Man City winning 2-0. Here we go with the Kanji. Grealish is free down that left-hand side, but he holds onto it. Manages to go backwards to Diaz. Foden playing in that free role. Phil Foden. This is where you want to see Phil Foden. You want to see him in between the lines, linking up the play between midfield. He wants to take on the half turn. He wants his defenders to feel confident in him that, give me the pass and I'll get it. It doesn't matter how risky the pass is. Get it in between the players and find me. Here we go, Grealish out to the left side towards Alvarez, who's leaves it to Cher, who hits it out for a Man City throw-in. Alvarez now from the throw-in. Short to Rodri. Kovacic has time to turn. Bruno Guimaraes comes over to cover, and he goes backwards to Ruben Diaz. Out to Walker. Diaz plays a 1-2 with Kovacic. Anthony Gordon applying some pressure. And he goes down holding his ankle here. Ruben Diaz. Diaz is not happy with Gordon there. Let's have a look at the replay. Does Gordon get a touch on it? Oh, yeah, he does. He does, Doesn't get anywhere near the ball. How's the referee not seen that one? I'm talking about the City Spurs game. Oh, alright, listen, Spurs won United. Let's not put them in that benchmark. That's a yellow card, that. Rodri on the centre circle. Kovacic now. Short to Gvardiol. Gvardiol out to the left-hand side towards Jack Grealish. And he finds the ball over the top towards Haaland, who's in behind here, but Nick Pope's there to win the header, and he goes out for a City throw-in. Rodri finds a pass to Walker down the right side. Gordon's tracking back. Goes backwards to Kovacic. Returns it back to Walker. 1-on-1 against Gordon. Backwards to Kovacic. He holds on to it here. Rodri. Alvarez makes a run in behind, but Akanji holds on to it. And his pass is intercepted by Gordon. Joelinton. Dan Burn quickly into Bruno Guimaraes. Surrounded by City players. And Nick Pope is forced to clear it away. And the free kick goes Newcastle's way on this right side. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? 24 minutes played. It's your boy Adam here, live on Couch Sports Football. Are we Manchester City fans? Are we Newcastle fans? Or are we just fans of football? Let me know in the chat. Here we go with Fabian Schär. Back to Botman. Dan Burn threads it in between the lines towards Isak, who does well to hold on to it here. Diaz is all over him. Foden comes over to help out. And it goes out for a Manchester City throwing in the Newcastle final third. All the way back to Kyle Walker. Ange and Pep have very similar styles. If Ange ball has fully settled in by then, I think it could go either way. I'll be honest with you. I just think City's team is just too strong. Nick Pope will restart the game for Newcastle on the shine side. Dan Burn. Into the path of Gordon. First time in towards Isak, but it's intercepted by Diaz. He finds Rodri on the halfway line. Kovacic on the centre circle. Has space to bring it forward. Out to that left-hand side towards Jack Grealish. Champions League winner to Champions League winner. Threads the pass into Alvarez, who can't get a touch on it to Haaland. But it's intercepted by Kovacic, who wins it back for City. Rodri is square and he finds him. Guimaraes can't get the ball off him. He finds the pass into Foden. Returns it back to Rodri. Rodri takes out his feet, but he can't find the City player. And Trippier is there, but Akanji wins the ball high in the pitch. Jack Grealish now has it here on that left-hand side. The City fans roaring here. Alvarez now bringing the ball forward here. Short to Rodri, out to Akanji on that left-hand side. 1-on-1 against Almiron. Akanji's positioning is causing Newcastle's problem. Rodri with a ball out to the side towards Walker. And he just couldn't keep it in play. Goes out for a goal kick on the side side. 26 minutes played here. Man City nil, Newcastle nil. Tonali. Tonali on the trying side. Long ball over the top towards Anthony Gordon, who brings the ball under control. Walker forcing him backwards, and it's Dan Burn. Sven Botman. Ball over the top towards Kieran Trippier, but Jack Grealish is dead. Offside flag does go up, but the game carries on, and it's Rodri on the ball. Kovacic into the pass of Foden. Foden has got Alvarez on the left hand side, who's in behind the defenders. Botman is tracking back across the 6-yard box, but Haaland couldn't get there. And it goes out for a Man City throwing on that left hand side. Ange had Real Madrid on the back foot for 45 minutes last year with Celtic. Real Madrid were turning last season. I don't think it's a benchmark. Here we go with Akanji on this left hand side. Into Foden. Back to Akanji. Out to Grealish on that left hand side. Bringing the ball forward here. Into the path of Kovacic. Kovacic. 1-1 against Joe Linton. Into the path of Diaz. City creeping forward here. Akanji into Rodri. Kovacic, there's the pass into Haaland being held by Botman. Foden picks up the ball into Grealish on the left-hand side. 1-on-1 against Trippier. What's he going to do? He goes down the outside this time on his right foot. Trippier puts a foot out. The shot is blocked. Grealish keeps it alive. Into the box, heading away. Can Kyle Walker get there? Yes, he does. Back to Kovacic. Left foot of his. But it's blocked by Joe Linton. Akanji on the ball. Grealish. Back to Akanji. Short to Rodri. Newcastle holding on here. Foden on the edge of the box. Left foot shot blocked. Can Grealish keep it in play? Yes, he does. 1-on-1 against Almiron. Newcastle pegged back here. Into the middle finds Alvarez. Cleared away by Fabian Schär. And Diaz is there to win the header, and he goes out for a throwing. Trippier to restart the game, but Rodri wins the ball from the throwing. Man City can't capitalise. And Newcastle give the ball away. They need to keep hold of it here. Newcastle trying to go toe-to-toe with a Man City team that you just don't try hold possession of the game, slow it down, break the rhythm a bit. You're just going end-to-end and it's not working out. Kovacic goes out to the side side towards Kyle Walker. Threads the pass into Foden. Foden finds himself again in between players. Alvarez shot into the back of the net. And ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City score 1-0 in this game. 30 minutes played. Julian Alvarez there with the goal. He's the goal scorer in this Newcastle defence. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. Kyle Walker into the pass of Kovacic. Kovacic threads the pass into Foden. Foden holds on to it, finds Alvarez, takes it off his feet into the back of the net. And Julian Alvarez, World Cup winner, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Super Cup winner, is the first goal scorer for Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. It was coming. And just as we spoke about Phil Foden in between the lines, that's where you want to see Phil Foden. His positioning today has caused Newcastle all sorts of problems. And with Kovacic with a beautiful threaded pass to Phil Foden, who lays it on a plate to Alvarez, City are a goal up here. Phil Foden is brought down by Tonali on the 33rd minute mark. And he gets a yellow card for his troubles. "33 minutes played. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0, courtesy of that man, Julian Alvarez. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Where are we all from and who do we support? Are we Newcastle fans? Are we City fans? Or are we just fans of football? Let me know in the chat. As City have a free kick here on the 34th minute, just after going a goal up. The goal scorer Alvarez finds Foden. The assist back to Alvarez. Gets away from Almiron. Puts the ball into the box, headed away. Because it falls to Kovacic. Shot from distance. And is blocked. Alvarez gets there ahead of Gordon. But he's brought down. Free kick Newcastle. Newcastle to restart here. Going toe to toe with Manchester City is not the way to play against them. Here we go with Fabian Schär into Sven Botman. Bringing the ball forward here. Into the path of Bruno Guimaraes. Brought down by Rodri. It's going to be a free kick there for Newcastle just on the edge of the centre circle. And Eddie Howe's making notes. Anthony Gordon with Trippier over this free kick. Trippier puts the ball over the top, but Rodri makes the header that wasn't needed. Almiron picks up the loose ball, claims for a handball. Nothing given. They manage to clear away. Anthony Gordon gets the head of Walker, who brings him down. Nothing given. Game carries on. The VAR going to take a look at the handball. We'll have to wait and see. Ball out to the right side. It's Almiron 1-on-1 against the defender here. Cuts in on his left foot. Shot is blocked. Can Jack Grealish keep it in play? No, it doesn't. He goes out for a Newcastle throwing. They are delaying this for this handball check. Oh, his hand's between his legs. He can't do anything there. Just under 10 minutes of the first half to go, ladies and gentlemen. Man City 1, Newcastle 0. Who thought it'd be a good idea to go toe-to-toe against this this Man City side? Dan Burns switches it over the top towards Almiron, but Jack Grealish is doing his defensive work. Tonali can't keep the game alive, and it falls to Rodri. He finds Kovacic on the centre circle, puts his head up and threads the pass into Foden, who again is between the lines. He goes out wide to Jack Grealish, one-on-one against the defender here. He drives with it to the edge of the box. Haaland makes a run. Grealish holds onto it. Right foot shot is blocked, and it's going to fall to Almiron. Gordon on the edge of his own box here. Finds the pass into Isak. One-on-one against Diaz. Akanji track him back, but he can't keep it in play. Goes after a goal, throwing, on this left-hand side. Diaz into Akanji. Finds a pass into Walker, who holds on to it here. Goes back to Diaz, who goes all the way back to Edison. Gives himself a touch on the ball. Because let's be honest, when City are playing like this, the keeper ain't getting nothing. Alvarez tries to flick it on to no one, and Trippier picks the ball up on the halfway line. Bruno now has time to turn and put his head up and find a pass. Again, no one pressing him. Goes out wide to Almiron. Trippier. Backwards to Fabian Schär. Sven Botman on the right side. Plays a 1-2 with Guimaraes. And he goes all the way back to the keeper. Nick Pope on the right side. Botman flicks it onto Byrne, and Byrne puts his head down and drives with it into the City half. He's got Gordon to his left. Isak through the middle. He finds Gordon. Foden's tracking back. Gordon brings it central here into the path of Joe Linton. Backwards to Bruno. Puts his head up. Almiron's free on the right side, but he goes short to Tonali. Sees Trippier. We can run over the top. Grealish is tracking back. Trippier brings it under control. Backwards to Almiron. Almiron into the path of Bruno Guimaraes. Plays a 1-2 with Tonali. And it goes out to Trippier, and City are now back in position. Tonali manages to find the pass to Almiron, but he can't keep it in play, and he goes out for a goal kick, and he's claiming for a foul there, Miguel Almiron, but the referee's not giving anything. Edison will restart in the 40th minute, ladies and gentlemen. Edison to Rodri. Over the top towards Foden. Heads it into path of Walker. All the way back to Edison. 40th minute played. Just under 5 to go. Alvarez, the goal scorer, on the ball on the left-hand side, keeps the ball in play. He's got Foden in the middle, and he finds him. Foden's got space to put his head up. Haaland makes a run through the middle, and he finds him. Haaland takes a first-time shot. Oh, it's just wide off the post. It's just wide off the post. What an opportunity there. Maybe he had more time than he thought, Haaland. He went for the first time one. Just wide. Just scuffs it. Wow. Akanji on the centre circle. Newcastle struggling now. 1-2 with Rodri. Alvarez gets there ahead of Almiron. Kovacic. Gavaggio. Into the path of Grealish. Diaz. Edison holds on to the ball here. Diaz threads it down the line to Haaland. Can't find the pass. It's brought down. Claims for a free kick. Nothing given. Newcastle have the ball now with 42 minutes played. Dan Burn on the halfway line. Almiron. "42 minutes played here. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. Gavagiol can't get away from Almiron, but Rodri's there to clean up. And he just clears it away. Haaland wins the header, but Dan Burns ahead of Foden. Only instant pass of Rodri, and Rodri holds onto it. Grealish now on the ball. And he goes all the way back, slows it down for Manchester City. 43 minutes played. Did he just say 3 minutes of added time? Edison. Walker. Backwards to Diaz. Hits it over the top towards Foden. Foden loses the header to Botman. Walker's there to win the ball. Haaland picks up the ball, gets away, finds Walker. Walker flicks it past Tonali, and he drives with the ball into the Newcastle half. Out to the left hand side, it's Jack Grealish. Trippier is tracking back. Grealish is driving into the box here. Foden is there, so is Haaland. He puts the ball over the top, and it comes off the defender for a corner on that left hand side for Manchester City. "44 minutes played here. City with a corner. Can they double their lead just before the half? Ball whipped in towards that back post. Rodri with a header. But Diaz can't get the head of Guimaraes. Kovacic brings it down, but Isak is there. And he manages to find Anthony Gordon, but Foden does well to win the ball back, and he tries with it here. Gets away from Trippier into the path of Haaland on the left-hand side. He's got no one ahead of him. He's going to hold on to the ball, Haaland. Backwards to Grealish, gets away from Almiron. Brought down. And no foul given. Good. Backwards to Dan Burn. Botman. Bruno Guimaraes. Surrounded by City players. Kovacic brings him down. Free kick Newcastle. Tonali. 3 minutes of added time here in this first game between City and Newcastle. Almiron. All the way back to the keeper, Edison. Sorry, Nick Pope, should I say? Edison, where did I get that one? Pope. Tonali. Almiron switches it into Dan Burn. Out to the sector side, it's Anthony Gordon. Brings it central. Joe Linton into Dan Burn. Joe Linton out to the sector side, it's Dan Burn again. Back to Joe Linton into the middle of their finds Bruno Guimaraes. 1-2 with Tonali. Newcastle trying to move the ball about here in the dying minutes of the first half. This is what they should have done in the first 20 minutes of the game. Just keep possession of it. But they decided to go toe-to-toe against a City side that just won the treble. Fabian Schär. Into the path of Dan Burn on the halfway line on this left-hand side. 1.5 of the added time to play. Sven Botman into Bruno Guimaraes. Switches it over the top towards Trippier on the right side. 1-on-1 against Akanji. Almiron. Trippier makes a rapid run and he finds him. Whips the ball into the box. Joe Linton is there. He's going to fall to Gordon. And Diaz is there to clear it away. Bruno Guimaraes. Fabian Schär to Trippier. Almiron's misplaced passes to Rodri and City win the ball back. Kovacic gets away from Almiron. Gets away from Joe Linton. Diaz goes into Foden and he cools it down to Gavagiol. And it's Rodri now on the ball with 30 seconds left of the 35 to go. Diaz switches it out to the right side towards Kyle Walker, who brings the ball under control on the right side. Is there one last chance here for Man City in this first half? 1-on-1 against Gordon. They turn the mics off. Dan Burn to restart here on the 48th minute. And the referee blows for half time here. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we'll take a quick break. I'll see you shortly. Oh, it's compassion. Second half, ladies and gentlemen. Here on Couch Sports Football. Second half coming up here on Couch Sports Football. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. Courtesy of the World Cup winner, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Super Cup winner, Julian Alvarez. Whoops, one sec. Oh, there's compassion. Oh, when I feel in the air. Second half here, ladies and gentlemen. Newcastle from left to right, City from right to left. Newcastle need to step it up in this second half. They've tried to play toe to toe with Manchester City, and it doesn't work. You don't play toe to toe with Manchester City. It don't work. Let's wait and see what happens. Here we go. Newcastle to start the game. Tonali brought down by Alvarez, and that's gonna be a yellow card for Alvarez. That was a shocking free kick. That was a shocking free kick to give away. What are you doing there? He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Trippier to restart the game here from this free kick on this left-hand side. Very high line by Manchester City here. Practically in the middle of their own half. Trippier switches it over the top towards Dan Burn. Akanji wins the header. Phil Foden brings it down into the path of Joe Linton in the City box. Gordon on the left-hand side being held up by Foden. Goes backwards to Bruno Guimaraes, who floats one into the box. Beautifully flicked on. Can they keep it alive? They can't. Isak is brought down, but the offside flag goes up. And I think they got away with one there, Manchester City. I think they got away with one. Man City to restart on this right side. Just have a look at the replay for that offside. It was very tight, but the linesman gave it. Rodri now on the ball. Into Kovacic. Back to Rodri. Looks like Bruno Guimaraes is pushing higher up the field here. Edison floats the ball over the top towards Haaland. And Botman is there to win the header. Trippier backwards to Fabian Schär. All the way back to Pope, where Foden is charging him down, but Tonali's there to give him an option. Now it's Trippier. Threads it into the path of Isak, who has time to turn. Gordon's free to his left, but he goes into Joe Linton, bringing the ball forward into the path of Gordon. 1-on-1 against Kyle Walker on his right foot. Shot is blocked by Diaz. And it goes out for a throwing on that left-hand side. What is it with these players going for that bleach look? Gordon, Martinez, Joe Linton, Guimaraes, Messi. They're all going for this bleach look, man. What's going on? Foden flicks it on, but Tonali's there to win it back. And it goes backwards to Fabian Schär. Trippier threads it into the path of Tonali. Tonali turns out to the right side. It's Almiron. 1-on-1 against Gvardiol. He goes round the outside. He cuts back in. Trippier makes a rapid run. And he finds a ball into the box towards Isak. A push in the back, but it carries on Joe Linton. Holds onto the ball on the left side, keeps it alive for Newcastle. Dan Burn makes a up run. He finds Gordon, tries to get away from Kyle Walker. But his shot is wide and it goes out for a goal kick on the right side for Manchester City on the 48th minute. Man City restart on the right side. Long ball over the top towards Haaland, who's battling it out against Botman, and he manages to get the shot off. But Pope is there to gather it. What a battle that is there on the back. Guimaraes on the ball. Back to Pope. Short to Botman. Into Tonali. Tonali turns with his space. Can't get away from Rodri, and it falls to Kovacic. Kovacic leaves it to Grealish. Bringing the ball forward. He's got Haaland through the middle. Alvarez to his left. Foden to his right. He goes into Alvarez. Backwards to Kovacic. Into the middle, it's Rodri. Kyle Walker makes all that run, but he goes out wide to Diaz. Diaz now finds Kyle Walker one-on-one against Gordon. Right foot into the box, but there's no one there. And Trippier hits it out for a throwing for City on this left-hand side. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Alvarez is down on the ground here, but back up on his feet. 51 minutes played. Free kick for City on the edge of the centre circle in the Newcastle half. Kyle Walker steps over it. Alvarez will look to take it here. Goes out over the top towards Rodri, but there's a bit over hit. And Newcastle restart on this left hand side. Pope to Fabian Schär. Just need to move the ball about. They did push. It did look like Bruno Guimaraes was pushing higher up the field, but they need to move the ball about and just keep possession of it. Keep it moving. They've got Tonali, they've got Guimaraes, they've got Joe Linton, Gordon, Almiron. You know, players that can move it about, pass it about. They just need to keep possession and hope something happens and not force it. Here we go with Gordon. Dan Burn makes a rapid run that forces Diaz to go out wide. Gordon drives with it towards Diaz into the box, but Diaz with a last-ditch challenge beautifully. Always looked in control. Foden on the ball. Rodri. Walker. Diaz. Haaland to Foden. Foden's brought down there. That was the camera was off the ball. Joe Linton to bring him down. I think it's more Diaz kicks for Gordon. That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card for Joe Linton. But I don't think the Gordon one's a free kick. I think Diaz kicks more Gordon than Gordon kicks Diaz. I think he's kicked him more than he's kicked. Am I missing something there? Looks like Gordon's going to be coming off here for Newcastle United. Trippier goes backwards. Newcastle trying to play out from the back here in their own half. Gordon loses the ball there to Kovacic, and it's now Diaz. Foden. Back to Diaz. Walker. Gavaggio. City just in cruise control, moving it about. Newcastle chasing shadows here. 4-1, 4-1. Hit it out play Kovacic because Joel Inter's going down off the ground. Looks like Longstaff's going to be coming on and Harvey Barnes for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon coming off. Avoid that second yellow. Harvey Barnes comes on for Anthony Gordon to avoid that second yellow. Looks like Longstaff might be coming on here for Joe Linton. Yeah, looks like Joe Linton's going to be coming off here for sure. Longstaff. He's felt something in that tackle against Phil Foden. Longstaff on the pitch for Joe Linton. Dan Burn now on the ball for Newcastle. Into the new man, Harvey Barnes, who scored on his debut against Aston Villa last week, but it looked like anyone would score against them the way they played. Rodri on the ball. Manages to keep it in play, and Kyle Walker goes backwards to Diaz, and he goes all the way back to Edison. Kovacic, first time into Diaz. Out wide to Kyle Walker. City get away from the press with such ease. And Harvey Barnes brings him down. That's going to be yellow card already. He's been on the pitch for about 4 minutes. Why are you doing that? Here we go with a Kanji. Goes short to Rodri. Into the path of Kovacic, who gets away from Bruno Guimaraes, but he's held down. And is Guimaraes on a yellow card? Gavaggio Into Grealish. Into the middle, finds Kovacic. Kovacic holds onto it, gets away from Tonali. Feeds into Ratha Walker. Harvey Barnes tracking back, who's on a yellow card after just being subbed on. Rodri goes back to Diaz. 58th minute played. Foden takes on the turn, gets away from Danburn, unleashes Haaland, who can't get it off his feet. But it's good defending. Was that not corner? Oh, it just comes off his toe. Just comes off his toe. Erling Haaland. Isak's pass is intercepted by Walker, and Foden picks up the ball, and can he get away from Dan Burn? He's got the pace to get away from him, but he's not got the legs. Dan Burn's height got him out of danger there. And it's now Bruno Guimaraes. Tonali. Guimaraes into Longstaff. Can't get away from Grealish. Bruno Guimaraes over the top towards Almiron on the right side. Trippier was making an overlapping run. Almiron holds on to it here. Akanji tracking back, gets himself into the box. Almiron backwards to Trippier, but it's a short pass. And Man City come away with it here with Jack Grealish and the crowd urge them forward here. But you know Manchester City, they move at their pace. No fan's going to tell them when to move forward. Akanji. Gavaggio now on the ball. Gets away from Longstaff. But he can't keep it in play. Goes out for a throwing. Trippier to take the throwing here. Gets the ball back. Alvarez is there. Kovacic can't keep it in play. And it goes out for a Newcastle throwing. 60th minute played here. Oh, it's compassion. Oh. Kovacic tries to flick it onto Foden, but Dan Burns there to win the header. Kovacic flicks it onto Walker this time. The offside flag, sorry, the free kick is given Newcastle's way here. This referee has definitely been on holiday. Them tan lines you can't hide. Jack Grealish picks the ball up on the halfway line with Phil Foden to his left. Alvarez to the middle. Haaland is in around the danger. Grealish holds onto it here. Brings it central into the path of Rodri. Rodri comes back to Akanji. Akanji goes backwards to Gavaggio. Plays a 1-2 with Diaz here on the right side. Gets himself on the halfway line. Just moving about here, City. Not forcing the agenda. Rodri. Foden, first time it's a Grealish, returns it back to him, takes it in his stride. Haaland through the middle, Akanji to his left. He finds Haaland on the edge of the box. First time shot, and he scuffs it again. Haaland's not got his shooting boots on today. He's not got his shooting boots on today. Holland on the right side. Saved by Pope. Walker against Tonali. Goes round the outside. Cuts back. Gets away from him. Backwards to Kovacic. Kovacic on the edge of the box here. Into Rutherford, but Dan Burns there to intercept. And Newcastle come away with it here on the 64th minute. But the free kick goes Newcastle's way here. Here we go with Trippier. To Guimaraes, feeds it over the top towards Almiron. Can he keep it in play here on this right side? He can. Gavalio's tracking back, so is Akanji. Into the middle, finds Guimaraes on the edge of the box here, takes out his feet. But he scuffs it. He absolutely scuffs it. Trippier goes short to Longstaff. Out to Almiron, first time into Callum Wilson, who's come on for Isak. Ball over the top, and Callum Wilson will try and get the return here on the right side. He drives with it, but Alvarez is tracking back across the 6-yard box, but there's no one there for Newcastle. And Carl Walker picks up the loose ball on the right side. 67th minute here. It's only 1-0 for City. Newcastle still have a game to get back into. Kovacic goes short to Akanji. Into Rodri. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Your what? Oh, Grealish goes backwards to Gavaggio. Into Akanji, back to Grealish. And it's now Alvarez on the centre circle. Into Grealish. Can't control the ball. Akanji picks up the loose one. Kovacic. Did you show the middle room one? Grealish not happy with that challenge by Fabian Schär. They're still trying Fabian Schär and Grealish. Who's playing next weekend? Let's have a look. Oh, it's compassion. Oh, oh, it's compassion. Oh. So next week On Friday we got Chelsea Luton. Ain't bothered about that. Brighton West Ham, not bothered about that. Oh, Newcastle Liverpool, bothered about that one. Friday. Man City Fulham. Brighton Newcastle, that's gonna be a good game. Then we got Arsenal. Oh, United playing next week. Nottingham Forest. Okay. Then we got Arsenal. Harvey Barnes on the edge of the box here. Shot from distance. Into the hands of Edison. Into the hands of Edison. Oh, it still works. No, that's a late one by Bruno Guimaraes. Fuck's sake, man. He's been in England far too long. He's been in England far too long, Bruno Guimaraes. Fuck's sake, man. Jude Bellingham scores 2 goals against his second opposition in the La Liga. He's going to run away with it in that league. Here we go with Kyle Walker on the ball on the right side against Dan Burn. Goes backwards to Kovacic. Foden. Rodri. To Akanji. Again, like I said, there's only one goal in this game. Newcastle still have a game to play for. Foden bring the ball forward here. Gets away from Guimaraes. Alvarez, the goal scorer. Sees Foden make the run behind, but it's intercepted by Trippier. And Newcastle will come away here with Almiron, who always carries on running no matter how long the game is. Almiron driving with it on the side, tries to go around the outside, but it's intercepted there by Cavaggio. And City come away with it here on the 71st minute. Alvarez into the middle finds Rodri. Rodri on the centre circle. Short to Walker on the right side. He's got space to bring it forward on the 72nd minute. Just under 20 of the first half, second half, plus added time. Rodri. Into Cavaggio on the centre circle. Roger bringing it forward. Kyle Walker trying to stretch the pitch on the right side. Diaz being held up by Wilson. Walker on the halfway line goes backwards to Diaz and it goes all the way back to Edison. Akanji on the ball on the right side. Into the middle finds Cavaggio and it's now bringing it forward into the City half. He gets away from Longstaff, but Grealish is there to win it back. And he's just brought down. Free kick. Come on, Trippier. What are you doing there? Jack Grealish and Phil Foden step over this free kick here for Manchester City on the 74th minute. Manchester City 1, Newcastle. Lil Foden whips it in, but he can't get it past the first man and it's headed away. Kovacic is there to win the header. Alvarez into Walker on the centre circle. Switches it out to the left hand side towards Grealish, who tries to flick it on. But Trippier is there. Goes out for a goal kick on the left hand side. Sven Botman on the ball. Goes back to his keeper, Nick Pope. Into Fabian Schär. Over the top. Headed away by Gavaggio, but Almiron, he slips and Almiron is there. But Kanji's there to head it away and it falls to Harvey Barnes. Gets away from Rodri. Bringing the ball forward into the City half. Almiron to his right. Callum Wilson through the middle. He holds on to it. Goes out to Almiron. Almiron overlapping run by Barnes. Into the back post towards. Couldn't get there. They keep it in play here on the left hand side with Harvey Barnes. 1-on-1 against Kyle Walker. Into the path of Guimaraes. 1-on-1 against Rodri. Goes central. Into Almiron. Flicks it onto Longstaff. Trippier. Headed away by Rodri. It's going to fall to Harvey Barnes now. 75th minute, 15 minutes to go. There's only one goal in this game. Newcastle are still in it. Bruno Guimaraes on the port. Into Almiron. Almiron needs to come off. He's had a shocker today. Almiron needs to come off. Grealish needs to say something about him again. City restart the game on the try-in side from the throw-in. Alvarez finds Foden. Foden holds on to it, but he's brought down. Game carries on here with Newcastle. Guimaraes loses it to Alvarez. Rodri comes away with it here. Haaland through the middle. He tries to find it, but it's just not happening for Haaland today, is it? It's not happening for Erling Haaland today. Dan Burn into Harvey Barnes. First time into Longstaff on that left-hand side. Goes round Kyle Walker. Forces him to make the run around, but it's going to fall to Almiron. Shot blocked by Grealish, and it's going to fall to Kyle Walker. Sorry, Kieran Trippier on the try side. Into the middle finds Guimaraes. Tries to take out his feet. Finds Harvey Barnes on the edge of the box, but he loses it to Phil Foden, who gets away from the challenge. And he tries to the ball on the right side. Newcastle are tracking back as fast as they can. Haaland is through the middle. Foden holds on to it here. Tries the pass, but it's intercepted there by Botman. And Newcastle now come away with it here with Dan Burn on that left-hand side. Some Newcastle players haven't even recovered from the first track back. Harvey Barnes down the ball on the left-hand side. Goes out to that left-hand side. Harvey Barnes 1-on-1 against the defender. But it's headed away by Grealish. Alvarez is there. Foden sees a run over the top towards Haaland. Can he find him? Yes, he does. But Haaland just runs a bit too far. Newcastle win it back here. It's getting a bit end-to-end now with 79 minutes on the clock. 11 of the 90 to go plus any time. Almiron to Grealish. Out to the try side, it's Almiron. 1-on-1 against Grealish, but he's offside. He needs to come off, man. He is absolutely knackered. He's not covered a lot of distance, though, compared to the rest of them. Guimaraes has covered the most. They've got no Sam Maximan. He's gone to Saudi. Gone for the money move. Haaland gets there on the end, but referee pulls it back for a free kick foul on Fabian Schär. 80th minute. 10 minutes of the 90 to go plus added time. Harvey Barnes on that left-hand side gets on the end of a pass, but he can't keep it in play. And he goes out for a throwing on that right-hand side. Man City to restart. New City win it back with Phil Foden here. He's got Alvarez to his right. Haaland tracking forward. Grealish is to this left-hand side. Alvarez holds onto it across the 6-yard box, but it's blocked. And Newcastle manage it to clear it away. Dan Burn, can he keep it in play on that left-hand side? They're doing it the hard way, Newcastle, to get out their own half. But Rodri picks up the loose ball. Akanji on the centre circle. 9 minutes left of the 90. Rodri over the top towards Walker. Walker goes into Foden. Foden into Kovacic. Kovacic to Akanji. Intercepted there by Newcastle. But Kovacic brings him down. Is that a yellow card, referee? No, you don't want to give it? Newcastle with a free kick. Dan Burn is the target. Headed away, but Man City win it back with Foden. Bringing it forward. Gets away from Bruno Guimaraes. He's got Alvarez alongside it. Can he find him? He does. Can Alvarez hold on to it? He's brought down and Newcastle win the throwing here. 82 minutes played. Trippier with a ball up top. Headed away by Walker. And it comes back to Edison on the shine side. Diaz goes backwards to the keeper on the shine side. Edison over the top to the shine side to Ruben Diaz. And he goes backwards to Rodri. Rodri now. Bringing the ball forward. Out to this left-hand side towards Jack Grealish. 1-on-1 against Almiron, who's had a shocking game today. Rodri to Foden. Akanji to Rodri. Out to this left-hand side to Grealish. Rodri into the middle finds Kovacic. Back to Rodri. Diaz threads it into Foden, but it's intercepted. And Dan Burn is there. Botman into Barnes. Barnes into Wilson. Can he find it? Yes, he does, but he couldn't find the flick on, and it falls to Jack Grealish on the touchline. Gavaggio now on the ball on the right side. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the stream. Where are we all from and who do we support? Are we Newcastle fans? Are we City fans? Are we just fans of football? Rodri now on the ball. That was a bit late there by Longstaff on Rodri. Game carries on. Walk over the top towards Foden, who tries to get there ahead of Dan Burn. He does well, you know. Newcastle are making another substitution here. There's going to be Almiron. Number 24. I don't think that's Almiron. Oh, yeah, it is Almiron. Almiron coming off with 5 minutes to go. The guy was done in the 70th minute. And Botman. Oh, no, they got it wrong. Livramento's come on here. England under 21. Okay, England under 21. Livramento. Interesting. TNT got it wrong there. It was a Botman that came off. It was Almiron. Gavaggio all on the ball. Into Edison on the shine side. 86th minute. Rodri. Brought down by Guimaraes and Newcastle win it back high in the Man City half, but again they can't capitalise. Rodri on the ball. Grealish. Akanji. All the way back to the keeper, Edison. Callum Wilson trying to apply some pressure. Edison holds on to it here. Manages to find a pass to Rodri. Newcastle plays always out of position. Alvarez now on the 87th minute. So we're on the 87th minute and Man City are not making a substitution. And we had Pep Guardiola complain midweek that they didn't change this game for against Newcastle to Sunday. And we're on the 87th minute and he's not even made a substitution. What's the point complaining when you're not even using one of the 5 substitutions that you have access to? Bring on Rico Lewis for Kyle Walker. He doesn't need to carry on playing for the last 10 minutes or so. Bring on Cole Palmer for Foden. He's done his bit. Push on Alvarez through the middle and bring Haaland off. What's the need to carry on playing these players and then complain about fatigue? You can't complain about the fixture congestion and not use the substitutions that are available to you. 88 minutes on the clock and Manchester City haven't made a single substitution. And Pep Guardiola is one of the first managers to complain about fixture congestion. Jack Grealish, what's the need for him to carry on playing? Rodri, Haaland, Alvarez. Haaland bringing the ball forward against Botman. Had Foden to his right. And he finds him, gets himself into the box, gets away from Dan Burn, takes his shot and he goes out for a goal kick. Or did Nick Pope make a save there? Whoops. 89th minute played, and Jack Grealish is going to take the corner down this left-hand side. 5 minutes of added time to come. He goes into Alvarez. Tries to return it back from where it came, but it was a bit wasted. Phil Foden has to get man of the match. Kyle Walker now bringing the ball forward on the right side. Is there going to be another opportunity for City to double their lead? Even though it's just one, they've not really struggled in this game. They've never looked like they've struggled any part of the game. Rodri, Kovacic, bringing the ball forward here. Foden makes a short pass, and he finds him, gets away. Akanji on the centre circle. Into Roger on the right side, Newcastle. Chasing shadows in this game. Alvarez can't take it out of his feet. Makes his way all the way back to Nick Pope. He plays a 1-2 with Trippier. And it goes out to Sven Botman on that left-hand side. Bruno Guimaraes picking it up deep. Inter Milan finds Callum Wilson. Tries to spin away from Akanji. But Diaz is there to pick up the ball, and Kovacic now brings it forward. Holds onto it here. Can't get away from Guimaraes, and he wins the free kick here. And Man City will restart in the 92nd minute. Man City free kick here on the 92nd minute with 2 minutes of the 5 minutes of added time to play. Grealish off the defender. City throw it. Haaland holds onto it in the corner here. And goes out for a corner. Looks like Jack Grealish is going to be taking the corner on this left-hand side. Rodri. Rodri. Over the top towards Foden. Can he finish this game with a goal? That'd be a beautiful game for him. Phil Foden in that middle. 1 minute of the added time to play here. Newcastle nil, Manchester City 1 at the Etihad Stadium. Do Newcastle have the moment in it? Can they create another moment, one last moment in this game? Well, not like that, Livramento. Long ball over the top there towards Callum Wilson. Edison will come off his line to just clear it high up into the air. Goes out for a Newcastle throw in. Last 20 seconds to play. This is the last. This is going to be the last moment for Newcastle. Can they create one moment of brilliance? Bruno Guimaraes on the turn. Kovacic all over it. Out to the try side is Kieran Trippier. Backwards to Fabian Schär. Sven Botman. Out to that left hand side. And the referee blows for full time. It's finished 1-0 here on Car Sports Football. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0, courtesy of that man, Julian Alvarez. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Peace.